Hey, what's going on? I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I wanted to just talk about a tool tonight that's really helped me tremendously in my growth. And it's a tool that's quite common in the world, the Five Voices certification that I've taken. And I think it's really helpful just to understand, like, big picture, what development looks like for us, especially as leaders. So you can see it here. It's know yourself to lead yourself. And so once we understand the tendencies that we have, every person hardwired into your personality and who you are tendencies, natural tendencies. It's not something you necessarily change, it's just who you are. And so understanding our tendencies allows us to capitalize on our strengths and then also understand our weaknesses. This isn't about changing who you are. This is about understanding who you are and adapting to the audience that you're talking to and being able to communicate more clearly. And so once we understand our tendencies, then we can understand those patterns that are caused by the tendencies, the continuous conversations that we have. What is it like to sit across from us? These are all creating patterns in our life that we need to be aware of. Those are in turn turning to actions. And so then we're understanding where our actions are coming from. It's from those tendencies and those patterns. And then from there, from the actions, you can see you go to the consequences. And so you understand that who you are and those tendencies you have are leading to actions which are causing those consequences. So if you don't like the consequences, if you don't like where you're at in life right now, then you can track it backwards and understand some of those tendencies you have. They're going to help you understand the consequences. And there at the end, you can see the reality. So those circumstances, the actions you're taking, all of those things are ending up at your reality. So if you're wondering why you're in a certain circumstance right now, why your reality is what it is, then you can reverse engineer and go back to maybe some tendencies you have. And that's the beauty of the Five Voices, that we're understand ourselves better. We're able to have that awareness so that we can grow and we can understand exactly what it's like to sit across from us. So know yourself to lead yourself. This is a core principle that we must understand in order to grow. Let me give you a very specific example when it comes to what that tendency can look like. This is another tool from the Five Voices system, and it's called the support challenge matrix. And so what you'll notice here is there's 4 different quadrants. The quadrant that I want to draw your attention to is the protector. So this is an example of a tendency as a leader that you might have to protect your team. And so with a protector, they're going to have a high level of support, which is incredible. This is someone that teams trust, because they know that they're going to have that support. You're giving your team the tools that they need to succeed. That's a very good thing. But when it comes to the challenge part, sometimes a protector and someone that tends towards protection with their team isn't willing to bring the challenge to their team that they need. And that in turn is going to erode trust and obviously not have the success of a team that you're desiring as a leader. And so you can see, as a protector, you're going to have that high support, but you may just as a leader, maybe you're hardwiring, you just tend to protect, and you're not willing to have those difficult conversations and bring that challenge when you need to. Now you can see the opposite end of the spectrum here, where someone that is low support and high challenge. This is that leader who just tends towards bringing more challenge than they are bringing support. So they haven't calibrated their challenge along with their support. And so our goal is obviously in that quadrant that you see there, Liberator. So this is someone that is bringing high support, so their team knows that they can count on the leader and they're getting that support that they need. But on the same hand, that leader as a liberator is bringing challenge. And I think what you'll find with most team members is that they may not always enjoy the challenge moment. But a lot of employees and a lot of team members are looking for a leader that's willing to challenge them and push them forward. Because at the end of the day, all of us are aware when we're not growing. And the reason so many people leave teams is because they feel like they're not growing. And a lot of times that comes back to us as leaders. If we're not developing our team and bringing that high support and high challenge, then our team isn't going to feel like they're growing. And so it's just something to be aware of. I think this gives us a very clear picture of exactly where we may be. And this is also an example of tendencies we have. So based on your voice, based on your personality, you could tend towards one of these. I think what I've noticed in my own life is that maybe in different scenarios, different walks of my life, whether it be work and home, a nonprofit, I might tend towards one quadrant more than the other, even in different dynamics of my life. And I would say that we kind of change based on the time of life as well. Or maybe just we're having a bad week, so we go into Dominator mode. But these are examples of tendencies that we might have based on our personality that can affect our leadership. So what we're talking about is adding to our influence or subtracting from our influence. And the more we can live in this quadrant here as a liberator, the more we're going to gain influence and help our team go to the next level. I did want to mention the last quadrant. You'll see the Abdicator. This is someone who's just kind of taking their hands off the wheel. So they're not bringing that challenge, but they're also not bringing the support. And this happens many times with leaders. Maybe they just feel like they have no impact on a company. They've tried and tried and tried, and they just don't feel like they're having an impact. So you can see them kind of back away as a leader, and they're not really bringing support, and they're not really bringing challenge. And this is obviously a dangerous position to be in as a leader. And there are ways out of this mindset, but it does take some work. So this is just a tool that I think is helpful for us to understand where we're at as a leader. It's a very simple visual tool that gives us a clear understanding of where our team is. So you can imagine as a leader understanding for yourself, first off, know yourself to lead yourself. But also a tool like this has been super helpful for me to kind of show to other leaders and go, where do you think you're at right now? What are some opportunities for growth? And so in my one-to-one coaching, I've been using this tool. It's been fantastic. It also helps in a team environment. If everyone understands the language, then everyone understands how they can help each other. Don't forget, this is about understanding, creating understanding for our teams, and also just understanding ourselves so that we can grow. So 2 tools we talked about today: know yourself to lead yourself. Understand your tendencies. An example of those tendencies is that support challenge matrix. So be aware of both of those. This is an example of the kind of that we use with the 5 voices. Great for your team, for the team environment, but also some of the one-to-one coaching we're doing. It gets down to the nitty-gritty as a leader. Are we gaining influence or are we losing influence? And so hopefully this has helped for you, just a little preview of the kind of tools that are available through the 5 voices system and through my coaching practice.